did that one feel? Okay. Same answer? How is that one different?
That was a little more solid, not as thin.
Okay.
More of like a, that one felt like a heavier ball plate, like a better strike.
Okay. A little more speed, height, spin.
Yeah.
Yep. So again, same shot, just a little heavy on that one. And the target's to the right of this flag, right? The end of the trees that we're talking about is to the right of the flag?
Yeah.
Like where it looks like the trees in the distance just drop straight off the cliff?
Where the opening, the gap is
Yep.
in the trees?
Yep.
The left edge of those.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of these balls have overcurved left. They're all left of the green.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think a lot of times also starting left.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Well,
Or
yeah.
going left, I guess. But
Yeah, it's either starting on line and curving hard or starting a little left and curving less.
Right, yeah.
That tells us something.
I think that's accurate with like how it is on the golf course.
Okay. So we think about this from a ball flight backwards. The ball's starting left, it's curving left. Your alignment's fine. So ultimately it's going to be some type of a club face issue.
Okay.
So can you hit a shot to the same target but feel like you have to block it to get there?
Okay.
Like 1 yard block to your target. And I don't care how you have to do it. Like you got your set up ball position stuff, great. Functional block to your target. What did you do with the ball position, by the way?
Ball position was similar. I just opened my stance a little bit.
Okay, cool. And what are you doing to block it, though?
Trying to feel like I just hold it off.
Okay, that's
I don't know
cool.
if that's
So it's a
wrong.
swing idea?
Yeah.
Works for me. Yep.
It's kind of feel like some days with the driver, I feel like that's the only way I can keep it in play. Like if I'm not hitting it well, is like open it up a bit and just try and like hold it off, take a little speed off, and
Totally.
hit it in the fairway.
Absolutely. That would be the opposite pattern of what your stock swing is. So that could be your drill, your fairway finder, the thing that shows up. It's like, oh, I felt like I was doing this and I hit it great. It's all the same.
Okay.
Yep.
The block again.
Yep. Block. So we want to try and hit this ball as high as we can without any curve. Just a 1 yard block out to the right. Good. To get the ball to start a touch more out so that it draws back in, you can feel like maybe an inch of forward press of your hands.
Like at a dress.
Yep. kind of got what we want. Maybe
Yeah, it felt solid. Just
half an inch, maybe something small.
way more of a block than you thought.
Yep, but it went out to the right and came back to the left. Like it was a super push draw, just not something that's going to work. Okay. So when it comes time to taming the draw,
Yep.
I want to do it by trying to get the ball flight up.
Higher.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you think about the rainbow of opportunities that we have, the lowest ball you hit's the pull hook and the highest one's the push slice.
Okay.
So I just want the push to get the height, and I don't want any curve to it. So whatever you feel like as a player you need to do, go for it.
Okay.
But that's kind of where we're looking at it today. If we have to get at any mechanics, we can do it. I was hoping this putter wasn't going to work in the Toronto member guest, and it'd be on eBay or something.
They'd kill me if they saw that on eBay.
Oh, of course.
That'd be the end of the relationship.
Okay, that's a nice flight. That's a nice solid shot. The trajectory's good. It doesn't curve much. I'm hoping that you have the same type of solid feel with that.
Yeah,
but I
it is
think that,
solid.
like, all I'd rather do today is kind of, like, direct your energy and your lines into a different way today.
Okay.
Right? Just kind of put you into some different lines to see how you react, and then from there you'll find something that you like, rather than tell you to take your arms back higher or do this with your hands or your wrist or your legs. Like, just, I want the ball to go far. You know how far you're trying to hit it. When you start hitting it solid, you'll know that it's a little bit better. But just start to tighten up the start lines by trying to get, and this is going to be the fun part about it all, is that everything that we're doing is trying to get the right side of center. I'm trying to get you to hit the ball to the right side of center.
Okay,
so if you'd imagine that we're sitting in a four-sight sim, right? You've got the big line in the middle, right? I'm trying to get you to do everything you can to feel like you can push this ball out to the right. The trouble with trying to aim down the line is from there, if you push it out to the right, it could bleed a little to the right, right? It might go a little bit too far. And I want you to see that it goes to your target. And that's why I'm getting you to feel like you open your stance. So if you keep the stance open like the way you have, and then from here feel like you can push it to your target, right, now you're actually hitting something. But high ball flights, something that doesn't curve too much, you'll find that if you try to push it too far out to the right, it's either going to stay there or it's going to overdraw. So we have to gauge how much push you're putting it.
Okay.
But right now it's just trying to feel like, you know, if we could use this divot line here, that everything we do is trying to get the ball to stay on the right of this divot line, out that way, without aiming over there, because that's just going to bring in more draw potentials. I want to feel like it's anything you can do this way and get it to go that way.
Right.
Get
'cause
out
if I'm
relative-
just aiming that way, I'm just going to look at where I see.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to get you to swing out relative to you, but straight relative to the target, so it goes there.
Yeah, I like that, because I think, as opposed to the technical stuff, maybe that gets it. I just feel like I'm so far off that maybe, like, stabilizing things a bit and then work on some stuff in the window.
Yeah, I think right now just change your lines a little bit. Change what you're seeing, change how you're trying to hit it. I know you can do all this stuff. It's not like I could get those guys to try to do it right now. They're not in a place where they could do that. But you've had a position where you've had a 6-iron, the ball's above your feet, your stance is all funky like this, and you've had to hit a shot to a target. Like, if you can do that, then you can do any of the stuff I ask you to do on a flat range, right? But a good player should be able to, you know, aim their body to the right and hit like a cut that gets to the target, right?
Yeah.
Right? And should be able to aim their body to the left and hit a push that draws to the target. And if they can get the feeling of having to swipe across versus swinging out, like, you can bring it in yourself. Right? We start changing the height, right? Okay, we want a higher shot or a lower shot. Now we start talking about loft, which is all about your hand positioning. Without talking about wrist angles, you just sit, like, give me a lower flight, you give me 8 more degrees of, oh, there's something or other, and boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like, let's alter your ball flight through these, you know, the 9 shots that are possible. You got low, medium, high. The ball can go straight or it can curve in 2 directions. So that's 9 different shots or 9 different windows. And we're going to play around with the high windows on the right without any curves. That's pretty much it. And we're going to, like I said, we'll talk about the curves by height. Hit it higher, hit it lower, change your ball position, something like that. But, you know, I'd say for now, it's just going to be, like I said to start, 1 yard pushes and go from there. 1 yard pushes to the target.
Right.
Yep.
Spaces between the lines.
That's good, yeah. It's like a full divot patch between them. Like a player your level, I don't think we need to talk about that shot, right? It's like, oops, let me try this again. Like the same thing you'd do when you were 8. Oops, let me try this again. And you'd flush it and we'd move on with life. Good.
That feels more solid.
So it's like changing the start line and your feels by the direction that you're putting your energy. I don't care how you're making the motion. If I can change the direction you're making your motion just by a little bit, we get different results. And that's where it's kind of like, you know, with a good player, you can work on these dynamics. Hey, put your hand over here instead of over there. Boom, the club does something different. The ball does something different. You know, it's just smaller things, different times, stuff like that. So, yeah. But that last one was good. Practice that all the way throughout the bag and then get to the driver before, like, maybe half that pile with your mid-irons and then driver.
Okay.
So where's the ball hitting the face?
Oh.
Toe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the feel I have. This could be totally wrong. The feel I have is I'm swinging like way into out.
Yep.
Like a closed face, and it hits the toe.
For sure. Do you know why that's happening?
No idea.
Okay. All right. So obviously first step is just focusing on hitting the sweet spot.
Totally.
But when you stand up in your downswing,
Yep.
makes you back away from the golf ball.
Okay.
Right? So your head's standing up, it's moving back farther from the ball, therefore that's the only place this has to go.
Got it.
So trying to feel as though that you can get your body to go down and forward before your arms come down, that's going to give you a chance to stay lower and be able to deliver that club a little better. But it's going to be a lot not to pull, not to use a lot of arms from the top of your downswing. Like you're going to have to really feel as though that you've moved your upper body down and forward before you start giving any of this.
Because I do notice when I do hit it better, I was going back to what you told me last time with maybe not as much, but at least the legs.
Mm-hmm.
At least starting that before I throw the arms.
Yeah, so a way that we could talk about this with ball flight is trying to feel like you launch it really low. Solid but low. And if we could do this off the ground with no tee, even better. Yeah, okay. All right, so that's definitely the one where you move away from the golf ball with your body and your feet, and you throw your arms down here at it. So there has to be something that you're doing with your body to move your body down and forward to de-loft this club.
Okay.
I think de-lofting is going to be like the way to think about it to get it done. So, you know the old drill, like pause at the top and then go? What would be the opposite of that? What could we call a drill that's the opposite of that? And that's what I'd like you to do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to me it would be just
That's what I want, for sure. Okay, that swing, but we'll see a different result. Do that one again. Now I'm going to give you an extreme piece on this one. So set up to it when you're comfy. Trying to hit a 1 foot block. Okay, I want you to stand 2 inches closer to the ball. All right. Go for it. Okay, one more time. Okay. What do you feel like you have to do with the ball being so close to you? Do you feel like you have to pull in or push away?
I mean, my thought has just been trying to stay on top of the golf ball.
Okay.
But in terms of like, yeah, I haven't really thought about in or away. I guess it feels like I'm reaching forward a little bit less.
Cool. I think that's the first step to not having to feel like you get your arms to go down out toward it, standing a little closer to it. You know, I've always talked about trying to get your hands a little higher in your backswing, but from watching it from this view here, as you're taking it back, your shoulders go about halfway.
Okay.
If the right shoulder can feel like it goes up to the sky more or moves back more, I think it's up to the sky will be the feeling.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a good way to keep a shoulder turn going,
Okay.
but it's going to add height to this shot. And I think that if the more we add height, the less it's going to have that, you know, diving duck hook, right?
Got it.
So I'm trying to teach based off what we're seeing as ball flight.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's try the full transition, but this has to go further.
Okay. And keeping that fluidity at the
Yeah, fluidity, that was the word I was looking for. Yeah, right shoulder can't feel like it goes toward the target too much or the sky.
So it's not so much like a turn that way.
No, it could feel like it's just a lift up to the sky, that it gets high. There you go. I was always taught shoulder turn relative to the ball line, so set up to your shot.
Yep.
So if this is where the ball is,
Yep.
right, the ball line, you're trying to get your right shoulder all the way to where this stick is back there. So how do you crank it back? There, that's what I'm talking about. It's just something you can use as a reference point down there. Can help a little. Yep. So any of those shots require a lot of steepness. They need way more steepness. That was so shallow.
Okay.
Club got to the ground too early, right? All that stuff. So the more I think that you can feel that the shoulder gets to the ball line, I think that's going to be the biggest piece for you. That changes how you deliver it, how you can get out of it, how you take it up. It does so many different things. I'd rather see how you evolve with that one idea.
Okay.
How far can this go back, and then get it to the finish with our rhythm of fluid transition. Those two things.
Okay.
Ball starts drawing too much or going too much left, play it more back in your stance. You can play around with how much you move the handle forward. A forward press typically would start the ball more to the right. Yep. Back to the ball line. Heavy ones before too when you tried to do that, huh? I like it. So again, we can leave the shoulder move to something that you practiced every so often, maybe. You can do a practice swing.
I do like it because I was trying the irons as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was hitting the 2 iron and stuff, and it actually feels more solid.
Good.
I think I just need some reps with it and kind of work on it, but
Could be it.
It definitely helped the driver.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
At least can hopefully get me through this season.
Yeah, and that's all I'm looking for here too, is to give you some good feels that could last a few weeks. I think that, the alignment and getting the ball started to the right is a great way to find better contact. And then you'll feel how much you want to play, how much curve and how much start line you want to play. Like you do all the time. It's just now we're more focused into it.
Yeah.
We're more in tune to it.
And there's a lot of the staying down forward, even though I probably need to do it way more, at least being conscious of it has helped on the ones that I've hit well. It's a different ball flight.
Cool. Good.
So
I like it.
yeah.
You gonna get a new bag soon or what?
You know what? I've got a few different bags, and I'll use them for a couple weeks, and then I'm just like, just gonna go back.